right. Just give me a second while I'll just look at you. All right. I just want to look at you, take you all in. You're beautiful, wonderful individuals, man. And I acknowledge you for being here today. All right? Give yourself a round of applause one more time. One more time. And the reason why I acknowledge you is because you made a decision to be here, or a choice to be here, right? You could have been anywhere else, but you decided to invest in you today. So I acknowledge that. My name is Garen Sproul. I've been a business leader for coming up on 2 decades now. That's older than most of you guys, isn't it? Right? I've been doing this here for a while here in the Orlando area. I'm originally from St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. I was born in Puerto Rico. What? Oh, we got some here? Yeah, hey. I was born in Puerto Rico, grew up in the Virgin Islands, and then I moved to Orlando after finishing my degree in Maryland. So, why am I here? What I'm going to say is important to you? I'm going to take you back for a little bit to bring you forward. When I was 7 years old, I suffered from polio. How many of you know what polio is? Yeah. And I was paralyzed. I couldn't speak. I was cross-eyed. I was pigeon-toed. I couldn't sit up. I couldn't swallow on my own. I was a pretty messed up 7-year-old. And I went to Puerto Rico for treatment. And while there in Puerto Rico, I'm a young kid. All I know is English. I'm in a children's hospital of Spanish-speaking kids, and I couldn't communicate. So check this out. After a while of being there, and I was finally able to sit up into a wheelchair as I was getting better, I remember scrolling down, like going down the aisle, and seeing all these kids passing me, seeing kids in their rooms. They're looking at me. I couldn't communicate with them, I thought. But I wanted to play because I'm a 7-year-old and I'm there all alone. So I did this thing. As I was going down with my wheelchair, I looked into a room and I was like, and then one kid climbs off of their bed, jumps into their wheelchair, and they came out. Go down. And another kid comes out, jumps into their wheelchair, and all of a sudden, it's like we got a wheelchair bandit rolling down the aisle, right? And then we started racing, then we slam on the brakes and spin out, and race again and spin out. And all of a sudden, I was making friends, not saying one word. Fast forward, I get back home, I start to get better. As you can see, I can walk, I can talk. I started doing some things in school, some things that people consider odd. Started kind of like lashing out a little bit, sometimes standing up for people, sometimes being outspoken in class, sometimes being a rebel in class. And it's like, what's going on with this kid? This young kid who was sick and we prayed for him, and why is he acting out? Acting out. As I got older and I went to high school, started doing the same things, skipping class, wanted to do more. I had all this energy inside of me. I didn't quite understand what it was, but people looked at me as like, this kid, like, what's wrong with him? So I had a teacher who would help me. His name is Gordon Williams. He said, Garen, I want you to graduate with your class. So he helped me because I was kind of failing in class. I was just all over the place, man. There was this energy inside of me that I wanted to do a whole lot more, and it seemed as though I was being contained and I couldn't get out there. Would you know that those were leadership qualities that were actually trying to like burst out of me? But I didn't know. And the people around me didn't know. So I'm gonna ask you, have you found that you do some things that people find kind of odd?